Witch hunt, yay or nay?
Nay. And it'd be rather like somebody robbing their company, and the police then saying, "Oh well, we won't continue with the prosecution on the basis they've lost their job." Not a witch hunt. That telling the truth to Parliament is the cornerstone of parliamentary democracy. The Privileges Committee are there to uphold that, and that's why this inquiry should go ahead.
Tim Montgomery, is there a witch hunt against Boris Johnson?
Well, look, if someone has done something wrong, I think, of course, they must be held to account for it. And I've been actually, since I was an advisor a long time ago, Colin, to Boris Johnson, I've been quite a fierce critic of him and have fallen out with some people because of it, who think I've judged them him too harshly. But what I'm worried about, and why I have some sympathy with what Nadine Dorries has said, is the people on this committee, a lot of them have been vocal critics of Boris Johnson in the past. There's a lot of partisanship here. And I'm just not entirely convinced that Boris Johnson will get a fair trial from some of these people. And so I'm not so angry or worried about him being held to account. I'm worried about him being held to account fairly.
Nigel Nelson, this isn't just about the man and his rights or wrongs, is it? And I say that because partly of this tweet, posted 17 hours ago by Andrew Adonis, a well-known campaigner for the Remain cause. He tweets, "The time is coming when I will feel confident in predicting an early referendum to reverse Brexit entirely and take us back into the EU, and that being the campaigning objective of the UK's pro-EU forces," they sound like some sort of paramilitary wing. He goes on to say, "the pain, horror and shame of the Brexit disaster," as he puts it, "will by then be categoric." People like him know that if you take down Boris, you damage Brexit.
I'm not sure that's true anyway. That certainly there's no indication from either Rishi Sunak or Liz Truss that they would do anything else other than what we're doing when it comes to Brexit. And this has got absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with Brexit anyway. That what we're talking about here is that we do know that Boris Johnson did not tell the truth to Parliament. He said back in December 21, when the Daily Mirror first raised the issue of the parties going on there, first of all, there were no parties, then no rules were broken. That is self-evidently not true. He's been fined for breaking the rules. So it's not the question of whether he misled Parliament. It's a question of whether or not there is a contempt of Parliament, how serious that contempt is, and whether there should be sanctions. And it applies to every single MP, not just the Prime Minister.
Tim?
Well, Boris Johnson clearly misled Parliament. Nigel is right to say that. But the question is whether he knowingly misled Parliament. That's what he should be censured for if that was the case. And I think it's that balance of doubt, whether MPs on the committee who are very critical of him from within the Conservative Party and without will give him a reasonable trial. And I'm afraid the judgment of a lot of people, the fear of a lot of people, is that Boris Johnson won't get a fair trial. And that's why we're seeing this controversy.
And Nigel, there will be people looking at the process saying at the end of the day, this isn't the Supreme Court that's making these judgments. It's party pre-politicians.
Well, I mean, it's Parliament, which is the way it should be. I mean, this committee comprises 4 Conservative MPs, 2 Labour, 1 SNP. That is broadly the makeup of Parliament. Chris Bryant, the chairman, has recused himself from it because of statements he's made, just in case he was accused of bias, and he's been replaced by Harriet Harman, the mother of the House of Commons. Now, if anyone thinks she won't conduct an inquiry diligently and fairly, that is ridiculous, laughable, and incredibly insulting to her.
Well, I'm one of those people, Nigel. I have huge admiration for Harriet Harman, but I also know that she's a pretty tribal Labour supporter. And I would worry that, just almost inadvertently, subconsciously, you have biases. And I'm not sure that she will give the current Prime Minister, the outgoing Prime Minister, a fair trial. And I don't think that's to cast huge aspersions on her character. It's just where she's coming from politically. I just don't think she'll give Boris Johnson the benefit of the doubt.